She didn't have any idea the significance of this day, her mother's final goodbye. Dressed in bright pink, just as my wife would have wanted, I watched as my daughter played with her favorite stuffed dog. I stared into Maddie's crystal-clear blue eyes, her little orbs reminding me so much of Alyssa's, and wished for a moment that I could transfer all my memories of Alyssa to our daughter. As hard as this week had been on me, the most difficult part was the heavy realization that our daughter, and now our son, would grow up without knowing their mother's love. And boy, did she love them both something fierce.
"Blake, it's not too late to call the doctor's office and tell them we changed our minds," Alyssa said as I opened the passenger door to help her out of the car. We'd just left the doctor's office, where my wife had her 20-week ultrasound. The doctor had informed us that he could tell us the baby's gender, but we'd already agreed to keep it a surprise. Now, as we were about to enter the baby boutique, I could tell Alyssa was already starting to question our decision.
"Look at this beautiful pink bedding," she sighed, running her hand across the plush fabric. "I just don't know if I like these neutral colors." "You don't really want to know, Liz. The surprise will be so worth it once you're holding our son or daughter in your arms."
"I suppose you're right," she said, scrunching her nose up in the most adorable way.
The simple gesture alone had me reaching for my cell. It's a good thing the doctor's number wasn't on speed dial, or Alyssa wouldn't have been able to stop me. I'd be a screwed man if our child got that trait from their mother.
"Blake, stop!"
she nearly screamed, reaching for my phone.
"I don't really want to know. I mean, I do, but I don't. Jesus, I don't know what I want," she said, tears beginning to well in her eyes.
"Short stack, don't cry, babe," I said, enveloping her in my arms.
"You know I hate it when you call me that."
She laughed through her sniffles. "I know you do, but I love it, and I knew it would make you laugh. I think it worked." I smiled, drawing her in for a gentle kiss right in the middle of the store. I wanted my wife to know that I adored her and all of her hormonal quirks, and I didn't care who witnessed our public display of affection.
"I'm sorry I'm so hormonal."
"You're carrying my baby. I think it's acceptable," I said, giving her one last peck on the forehead before pulling away. "Now let's do some shopping."
"I like the sound of that. I already see the cutest stuffed dog over there. It would be perfect for our little boy or girl," she said, her blue eyes beaming.
"Blake, we're here." My mother-in-law's voice, breaking me from my thoughts. She patted me on the knee, and I gave her a knowing nod. It was time, and neither of us were ready. After the chauffeur came and opened the car door, I exited and offered my hand to Judith. She pulled a black veil over her face, probably trying to mask her swollen eyes and puffy cheeks. In that moment, I wished I could hide from the world as well. As much as people didn't want to stare, it was only human nature to watch from afar as I grieved my wife, the only love of my life. I walked Judith to the graveside and returned to pull Maddie from her car seat. Something in my peripheral vision caught my eye, and it was then that I noticed my best friend Rich's fiancée, Brooke, drop to her knees. Alyssa and Brooke had become good friends since Rich introduced her to us over a year ago. They'd been friends in college and reconnected after several years when she applied for a position at the post where Rich worked. Before losing their baby, Brooke and Alyssa had both been pregnant at the same time, and the two bonded over talks of morning sickness and prenatal vitamins. Although I knew Rich and his woman had a long road ahead of them, and many serious discussions in their future, I was able to find a tiny bit of peace in knowing that my turmoil and tragedy brought the two of them back together. I'd always been man enough to admit that I knew what love was, and I was confident that those two had found it. Some people live their entire life without finding their soulmate. I was certain mine had already come and gone. That part of my heart would always be reserved for